Yeah, that's tomorrow.
It is a very good tool, or maybe the only tool that the GJA has now, which tool it has been deploying for a while. You are saying that is a dysfunctional tool. Tell us more, please.
Yeah, the thing is that, boycotting or blackout is something that is not part of normal democratic culture. It is only when, everything possible through the rule of law has broken down that sometimes you may resort to impunity. And when I say impunity, it does not necessarily suggest that it is evil, but it is because you do it without recourse to hearing anybody in taking a decision. On the matter. My position is this, and this position I've held not today. It's not about Howard Kumsen or about Farouk. It's also about the Adult Traditional Council that the UGA said we should boycott, and in the end, it didn't happen. The point that we must all understand, the first point, which I did not want to elaborate, and I only said that it is dysfunctional, is the fact that the GJA cannot stop CPFM from carrying a story that it wants to carry because they have boycotted a certain individual. The GJA doesn't have that authority. And so if Citi FM wants a certain story to be done, and because GJA says that don't cover this person, Citi FM is not obliged not to cover that person. And if you're a journalist working at Citi and they ask you to go and cover and you say you not cover it, then you can conjecture what the consequences can be. That is the first. Now the second thing also is that, and you must also understand that I was addressing journalists on a specific theme. And the theme of that training workshop was journalists for peaceful discourse. And boycott can never be a peaceful means of resolving the matter. Because when there is understanding between individuals, nobody resorts to arbitrariness. And so that is my position on the matter. And I would not apologize to anybody for holding that position because that's my view. And I will not begrudge anybody from holding a contrary view. My position, and I posited it in my presentation, is that we must not be dismayed because there was something and we felt that there were impediments in our way. We must work together to ensure that those impediments are removed. And from henceforth, we demand justice. At least, I don't know, you were at the Accountability Forum. That was where the CID director came to give information on the cases. And we were told that for a number of cases, no formal report has been made. And so if nobody has reported anything, it is not everything that Somoto you can pick it because there are certain legal circumstances that do not allow you to take up a certain course if that course has not been brought to you. And that is one of the things that we need also to take into consideration. And so my position is that the resort to blackout is not the most efficacious tool in dealing with a matter of violent attacks against journalists.
Is it not what you are saying amounting to you forcing journalists to report on their attacker? Are you saying that as a journalist because you want to respect the rights of everybody or the Aldi Alterum rule, you should still report on your attacker?
When you report on somebody, are you doing a personal distance or you are serving the interest of the family? Let me ask you, don't answer. That me, as I am Boafo, I write a very defamatory commentary about a medical officer. And then the Ghana Medical Association goes to a meeting and decides that when I am sick, no doctor should treat me. How would the world feel about that? Because when you reduce it to your attacker, you are reducing it to the personal level. The journalist is not serving his or her own interest. The journalist is working for the good of the public. And that's why we are granted privileges. It is not because of ourselves. It is because of the services that we are rendering to society. And so because somebody attacked me, and let me tell you, I was beaten up at the Caladan Park in 1984 when there was a match between House of Oak and Accra House of Oak and Tamale Red Tamale United. When I left the field, because what was I going to report about myself? I reported about what happened in the football match because that one was of a critical public interest. And before, I wrote to Graphic about the fact that I was assaulted. And so I've lived it and I have gone through it, and I'm not going to change my position on this position. And I don't begrudge anybody holding the contrary position. It doesn't matter what position that you may hold. You may see it as efficacious. I see it as non-efficacious. That does not render my position a nullity because of the position that you are holding. Because these are alternatives to resolving the matter.
I see. So you are from the school of thought that the journalist must never be the news, but only report the news. I crave
the journalist, yes,
must not under any circumstance be the news, even if their skull is broken. They should still take the microphone to the one who broke their skull and speak to them and say, "Go ahead, talk."
No, I haven't said that. But the journalist does not resolve an attack on him or her by just saying it and leaving it there. The journalist must follow the due process of the law. If the journalist is attacked, he must report to where he has to report to. You do not sit down in your office and expect that there will be a solution to that problem. Nobody says that when you are attacked, don't mention it to anybody. But that must not be. That on the basis of that. And look, when you are dealing with an individual, you may think that it is very, very easy. What about if you are dealing with a public institution? Listen, the matter about the Ashanti Regional Chapter boycotting the Vice Chancellor of KNUST. And so therefore, you have been sent to KNUST to report about a graduation ceremony. Now the thing that the Vice Chancellor said, because you are boycotting him, you said you read nothing about it, and you focus on the fact that 1,900 people graduated. Have you been fair to the public? I mean, these are some of the things that must inform us in our deliberations. Nobody is saying that the journalist head must be on the chopping board all the time. That is not what anybody is saying. But my position is this, that when the journal has suffered, there are rules. Otherwise, when people arrest a suspect, a criminal suspect, armed robber, whatever, then they should kill that person and not report to the police. Because everybody has an interest in some matter. And because it is concerned you. So I can ask you, because I have done something to the police, I have written something bad about the police. So when somebody is shooting me and there's a policeman there, he should not protect me. You should let me be killed because I have insulted the police. Please, look, this thing that we are talking, it's not just simplistic. Because when you say that these are absurd situations and therefore you need absurd solutions never resolve any matter in a permanent way.
Okay. Chairman, I crave your indulgence to speak to the president of the GJA who actually made this call to journalists, which call you are against, and I would be grateful if you can just stay in and listen to his position on this matter. Great. Mr. GJA President Albert Kwabena Jumfo, you're welcome to Eyewitness News. I was engaging the Mr. Yaboido Ebuafo. He was at your forum, and he said he disagreed completely with your position on blacklisting persons who attack media persons. And he has gone ahead to explain that you do not have to, for instance, as a medical association, say you are not going to treat a journalist simply because he wrote an article against a doctor or the medical profession. That is how he is equating, and that's how bad it is looking based on what you are preaching to your association members, he says.
Thank you, Umaru, your team for a good job done, and thank you for the brilliant questions you posed to him. And I'm surprised our senior brother or veteran journalist is speaking the way he's speaking. He attacked me on some platform saying that my position is an arrogant position, and I take exception to that. Anyway, let me just go straight to the matter. First of all, Maru, an attack on any journalist or an attack on the media is an attack on our democracy, and it should know. Now, we are not Ghana Medical Association. We are not Ghana Medical Association. They have their model of standing. We are the fourth estate of the realm. And for that matter, fourth arm of the state. And so, if we come and attack and the environment is contaminated, we are working within a contaminated environment or harmful environment, you are telling us that we should put our life on the line and still be saying to be discharging our duty in a harmful or a contaminated environment. Is that what our senior colleague is trying to say? We still stand by our position. Boycott is a peaceful and a civil democratic tool to exercise our displeasures, to exercise the way we are being treated. If he claims he has made mention of a number of issues, but in his address, he did not even suggest functional measures we can do with this matter. All you could say is that we should follow the due process and we should let the system or the institutions that are responsible to work. And my brother, we have set time that number. That look, under this circumstance, under this case, we have exhausted the process. The process, and he's saying we don't need to be dealing with only the police, but we should do with NMC. What confidence have they reposed in the media? What confidence of the NMC, both in the media or in our members, who even have confidence that they can deal with matters like this? All they know is that when issues, politicians will report issues or affected persons will report issues of unprofessionalism or ethical conduct against journalists to them, and they will what? They will sit on it, come out with decisions asking journalists to go and apologize and do all sorts of things. For how many times have they dealt with issues of attack at NMC? They should come and tell us.
But he makes a case that, listen, the journalist must not be the news. He reminds us of how in 1984 he covered a football match at the Caladan Sports Stadium. He was attacked, but he did not focus on that. The attack on him was not the focus of his story. He filed his story first and later reported to his employers that this is what has happened to him. He says again, for instance, that we are seeing what is happening in Palestine, where dozens of journalists have been killed in the attacks that we witnessed. Indeed, I saw an Al Jazeera correspondent whose family was killed and yet was still reporting on what was happening. He's asking, have we seen journalists over there boycott Israel? They still report on Israel. So he's saying that is not the way.
I think that he's just comparing oranges to mangoes, and I think this comparison does not really work under our democratic dispensation. For us, I don't even want to dive into the Al Jazeera and other matters because there are issues of concern. I am, by virtue of the fact that I'm the president, I'm a member of the IFJ representing Ghana, International Federation of Journalists, and I know the punitive measures that IFJ have taken in this regard, and I'm not here to speak on that matter. Maybe he's not privy to. If he wants me to walk him through that, I will do that. But I want him to know that first, what we are saying is that now in 1984, maybe by the grace of God, yes, because he was able to survive the attack, and if he had died like Ahmed Swale, would he have lived to tell the story? We need to live to tell the story. And because we survived, we was able to tell the story. And so that is how today's journalists and our media practitioners must also live to tell their story. So if you are living today and you are using as a testimony, we also want our colleagues who have been attacked today and have survived to also live to tell the story tomorrow. But we want to end this impunity against journalists. And in ending it, we believe that the best way to exercise our displeasure, the best way to let the system know that they have failed us, because the only, in fact, aside the civil remedy, the only institution that is responsible to take criminal remedies or criminal prosecution against these perpetrators is the police. And we have said it severally, that the processes, we went through all the processes, have forwarded all the evidence, and then maybe suspect pictures and others in lead to the police, and until now, the police have not invited or arrested anybody. And you are saying that we should sit, in fact, like he said, and he mentioned it on other platforms, that look, if Agwafo think that this is a permanent, what his suggestion is really permanent or functional, a functional decision that would bring permanent solution to the cure. Like by now, I don't think that journalists will still be under attack and journalists will be assaulted. With the likes of Agwafo, who has held the position as general manager, graphic editor, like he said, former vice president under GJA at the time. The only thing you could say is that when Asante, what is the name, the Master Cultural Council or the Asante Council decided to do something, and they went to them and start with them, and the issue was resolved. We have done the same. If you want us to do that comparison, about 2 years ago, we all saw what happened when the Kumasi Traditional Council, the Asante Council, directed the closure of Oyerepa FM or TV, which he told me is not going to speak on that matter because he has cautioned Oyerepa and then on several occasions. I spoke to him in person. We use the same diplomatic means to resolve the matter. We met with the Central Council. We met with the Kumasi Chief or hearing, and then the Asante Council to resolve the matter. And we are all in this country about 2 years ago. The same thing happened when Ada Traditional Council banned Radio Ada from reporting their festival. We did the same. Now, when it comes to attack on journalists, that has the tendency of taking the life of the said reporter or journalist. We don't take it for granted, and that we have given statistics that in the past 8 years, the average attack. When we look at the statistics, averagely every year, 4 journalists come under attack. Every year, 4 journalists come under attack. Eric Bob has still been a senior member of the GJA. Where has he been? Why hasn't he preferred or suggested these permanent solutions all this while? So he waited for the GJA to call or to direct our members and then our body. And not, this is not only a fight for the GJA. We have 3 other umbrella bodies who are in support of this position. And this is in collaboration, in partnership with the Media Foundation for West Africa. It is in partnership with the GIBA, in partnership with Media Foundation, what is the name? Primpact. So we are saying that if the disagreement should not only be with the GJA, you should know that he's fighting all these umbrella bodies. Trying to tell us that our position is dysfunctional. We all haven't got the sense. We all haven't got what it takes to resolve this matter. He's the only one who has that knowledge, who has that ideas that will help us resolve. And he has been in the system for years. And those ideas have been in his head all this while. He has not made these ideas known in resolving this matter. And our people are still coming under attack. 4 journalists did attack averagely every year. Just last year, between March and October, 9 journalists came under attack, assaulted. And we just started a year. We are in the second month of the new year, and already 2 journalists have been attacked. And we are there telling us that the position we have taken, we are still working, and we are ready to also assist the police or any institution that is mandated by the Constitution and law to what? To bring justice to this issue. So we have not only called or directed our people to blacklist or blackout these MPs and then have gone to sleep. This is just one way we some people will demonstrate. The journalists do not go on demonstration. Some people who want to they will how do I put it? They have a way, everybody has a way of exercising its constitutional right. And so we are saying that for under the current situation we find ourselves, and I still maintain the fact that it is abnormal situation because in the past we have this time has recorded high numbers of attack as against the past he is referring to. And so in this abnormal situation, the abnormal position is that we will blacklist and black out anybody who attacks a journalist or media because an attack on the media is an attack on our democracy. We don't want our democracy to suffer. And so everyone should rather join us to fight this impunity and not rather be fighting from the other side.
Okay.
He is one of us. We expect him to come home and let's sit down and we'll deal with this matter. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's GJA President Albert Kwabena Jumfo. Let me conclude with Mr. Ibuafo. He's still on the line. Grateful that you agreed to stay on the line. Maybe I would ask you to react first to some of the issues he's raised, and then I'll ask my final questions there.
Omar, see, the first thing, the arrogance that I said he's arrogant is established in the fact that he said that if I don't know about ISG 10, he's ready to teach me about those things. That is arrogance. Now, I don't have a problem with anybody dissenting with me. Why should he have a problem if I express the contrary opinion? I am a stupid individual because I don't follow his footsteps. I don't mimic people. I stand for myself. Two, why I said he's arrogant is the fact that they invited me. He said that he didn't receive the thing. I sent it to the lead of the project, Rebecca. I said he should find out. They came with whether I sent my copy to her before I came to Fumesa, or I didn't send the thing to her. Because I was not supposed to send it to the president. I was supposed to send it to the address that sent the thing to me. Now, I sat down with him before I delivered my paper and after I delivered my paper. Why didn't he tell me some of the things? He only told me to disagree. Only for me to leave the event, because I've already told them that I had another engagement. And then what worries me is his comment that because I have been given position in the government, I have turned my back against the GJA. Listen, and that is what offends me. And I'm scandalized about that statement because he's no more independent thinking than myself. He cannot say that he speaks for himself and I am a token of somebody. I am not a product, you know. So and the other thing that Jumfo needs to understand is that I am a bona fide member of the GJA. If at any point in time the GJA executive take a decision that is offensive to me, I am entitled to express that view. And if he's unable to tolerate that, then he should leave the office because he is there to serve the interests of the members. And he cannot suppress any member from expressing their views as to whether they agree or disagree with the position of the GJA executive. Because in taking those decisions, how many of us did they consult before they arrived at that decision? Did they organize any emergency general meeting for all of us to come and participate in the tent? Why should they think that only the executive, when they come out with a thought process, everybody who, either a member or not a member, must take it? If I were not a GJA member and I was just a lawyer serving on the National Media Commission, I may not be too keen about what happens within the GJA environment. But because I am a member, and not just a member, I'm a former vice president of the association, I care about what happens within that environment.
Okay.
And because
Mr. Chairman, the rule of the collective. You and I are members of the Ghana Journalists Association. You have been a leader of the association before. You took decisions for and on behalf of Ghanaian journalists. Yes. I'm not sure every decision you and Gifty Afenyedazi took at the time and your executive block. You called a general meeting of journalists to decide. Let me just land with that question. Yeah, now, the second issue. Let me just develop my question. Okay. Now, they as GJA executives, we elected them to lead us, and they have found that this is the best way to lead us. If you, a very prominent voice in the media space, breaks away, you are essentially breaking up your own association. Why didn't you speak to them in private and say to them that you disagree with this? Yes.
Is there any law? Is there any law which says that if I feel strongly about something, as a member of the GJA, if I feel strongly about anything that the GJA has done, not in secret but in public, I should go secretly and talk to somebody.
But you do know that if you go,
tell me the law which says that.
That's the law I referred to.
My views in the open.
That's the law I referred to, which is not a law strictly speaking, but is a law of collectives, where if a group takes a decision, that decision is binding on all members, and all members are obliged to support.
Listen to me. Even laws that are passed by the parliament of this country, where we have elected them to go, we oppose it. Did you hear about the part of the narcotics law that the Supreme Court struck down? Was it not a decision of the collective because Parliament represents us?
Yes, but Parliament or an MP did not go to court to say, I was not part or I disagree. It was an individual who went to court and took on the provision and had that provision scrapped or removed. So now, but what it's almost as if we are a pack of dogs going to hunt. You have elected to be with the rabbits and not be with the dogs. That's the position it is looking like.
If I choose, listen to me. If I am part of and they take a certain decision that I don't agree with, are you suggesting that I should follow them because that is the decision that they have taken, that I have no right to make a comment, to express my views about that? For heaven's sake, what kind of society would that be? Where individuals, when their leaders take a position, can never make their views known about that position. That would be a jungle, not in a civilized environment. Listen, I am a member of the GJA. The GJA has taken a decision. Now the GJA has invited me, and listen very well. The GJA has invited me to address a training program that is intended to appeal to the journalists to use peaceful means in their dealings with the public. The subject matter was journalists for peaceful discourse. Now, what more better opportunity for me than to tell them that, look here, this is the position that our executive took on this matter. But in my view, I think that it is not the best decision that they took. And that if we want to fight, we must make sure that we fight to the end in an application of the rule of law. Okay. And you are telling me that because of collective. Which collective?
Mr. Chairman,
is there anything like collective that nobody can make a comment?
Mr. Chairman,
and leaders must do whatever pleases them.
Finally, as a journalist, you can use the platform of the NMC. You can go to the court. Because of criminal libel, which has been repealed, you don't have to go to the police now. But if there's an assault on you, which is a criminal offense, you can report to the police. So a journalist you are advising should go through these processes first. Now tell me how useful the GJA would be to journalists then in the midst of attacks on journalists. If journalists can individually do these things, what would be the use of the GJA and what would you rather the GJA did?
You see, what I said is that the GJA can condemn such attacks.
So just issue a statement and end it there?
No. And encourage those individuals to go through the process. Because you see, when it is a criminal matter, it is against a certain individual. You, Omar, you cannot go to court and make a complaint for that journalist who was assaulted probably at the Howard Compton place. You cannot. It is only he. So what the GJA has to do is to lead this individual to go and lodge the complaint. And I'm saying that there are two aspects of the matter. The first one is about freedom of expression, and the second one is a criminal thing. The police cannot deal with free expression matter. The police can only deal with a criminal matter. The National Media Commission has this center, the mechanism for the safety of journalists. And therefore, the expectation is that the minimum that anybody can do is to report to the National Media Commission. Now, when people say that, the commission has this and that, how long did it take for the Major Mahama criminal case to be concluded? The Afoko matter in the Upper East region, how long has it taken? Is that the reason why people should take the law into their own hands and decide otherwise rather than to follow the law? I mean, please, listen, if I say something to you that you don't like, you have the right to respond to me. But I'm saying that my problem is not about the fact that GJA is unhappy about what I have said. Because I'm not supposed to please anybody at GJA. I'm supposed to do what I think is justified in my sight. But when the GJA president uses a public platform to say that because I have been given government position, I have turned against the GJA, I'm saying that because what position has government given me? Yes,
NMC
the president
chairman
nominated me to go to the National Media Commission. That is not because the president nominated me. That's why I am the chairman of the commission. And if anybody who wants to find out, I am the first person ever to be nominated by a president who has been so elected as chairman. And so it is not the question that government has given me position.
Okay.
Is any one of them there, including Jumfo, more independent than me, that I have sold my conscience because I have been given a position by the government? I'm talking. And if you listen to me, that is my problem. And not the question about whether they like the idea or if they say they don't like the idea. I can't say anything about it because it is not intended that what I say is what they follow.
Okay.
But when you describe me in very dysfunctional ways, because I have expressed an opinion that you don't like, then I have a problem because that is not democracy. Democracy, that is sycophancy. If you want to listen to only the things that you want to hear, you are a sycophant. Well. A Democrat is a person who is able to tolerate views that they hate without being offended.
Okay.
But to state their case that, look, I still do not agree with you. That is the essence of democracy. And not to call people names because they are not bootlicking you, because they are not following you, because they are not mimicking you, because they are asserting themselves. That is not democracy.
Finally, sir, if in 1984, after those people beat you up at the Caladam Stadium, they met you a few hours later and told you to interview them because they had some issues they wanted to put across, would you have granted them that interview and written the story for them?
No, but listen, Imoro, sometimes, when sometimes we distort the issues because in the first place, the Howard Commission matter, we are told it was at a vetting of the candidate. Who organized that function? Was it Howard Commission who organized that function? The Farouk, this thing that we are talking about, it was at the election. Was it Farouk who organized the election process? Was it not? So, why are we not looking for those? Because I did not ignore the RCU executives when they wanted to speak to me afterwards. Because I cannot in any way conclude that it was the executive who directed those miscreants to come and beat me, and for which reason I should direct my anger against the executive.
No, I'm asking specifically about those who beat you up. If they had come, you would have gone ahead to grant them a platform.
Why would have been the reason for them to come?
If they said they had an issue that they wanted you to put across for them, you would have done that.
No, but listen to me. Assuming that any of them had public responsibility, right? And they were in public office. They're not strictly social private individuals.
Mr. Chairman, do you understand what happened? Do you understand what happened in Yendi to my colleague Aminu Mohammed Alabira? He said to us that it was a member of parliament who physically beat him up and also invited his thugs to beat him up. That is the case that the police is currently investigating. It was not the NPP that organized the election that beat our correspondent up. It was not the Electoral Commission that was organizing. It was just let me just land. He said it was a MP who beat him up. So that's why I'm asking you specifically. If the people who beat you up directly ask you to give them audience and publish their story, regardless of what story it is, would you go ahead and do it? That's all I just want to know so we can end it.
No, if they gave me the reason why they came to beat me, assuming that they came to tell me why they beat me, why would I? Yes, I will listen to them. I will tell them my peace of mind, but that will not be. I will still listen to them, and if whatever listen, I will put it in the public domain so that the public will be better judges of whatever development has taken place. My interest is not about this. I'm saying that if Farouk physically assaulted Alabira, Farouk should be reported to the police.
Yes, that has happened. And
listen to me. I'm saying that beyond that, we all as Ghanaian media people, we all as Ghanaian journalists have a responsibility to do whatever we can do within the law to ensure that Farouk does not go away a free person. This blacking him out and not publishing anything about him, will that resolve the matter?
Finally, is this position of yours a personal one or an NMC position?
See, when you reduce things to this nature,
Many people keep sending messages asking me that to ask you. So I just wanted to know so we can move on.
Listen, I said that if you want to find out, get a copy of my presentation and see whether I said NMC or I said I. It was my personal position. And that is the reason why I made references to what happened in the past.
Very well.
What has NMC got to do with what happened to me in 1984? Is it because I'm chairman of the NMC, so it becomes an NMC issue?
Very well.
What happened to me when the Ashanti Regional GJA said that the Vice Chancellor of KNSC should not be covered? And I said that was not a good decision. What has that got to do with the NMC? Why should NMC be involved in that?
Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to us. That's Yaboido Ayeboafo. He's a former vice president of the Ghana Journalists Association.